All right, Umesh, we are live now.
Okay, so welcome everyone for this small webinar on how to crack architecture, fashion, design entrance exams. So before we proceed, yes, we are having a Zoom call. There are some students on the Zoom, and this is also being live broadcasted on YouTube. So you can also watch it in YouTube later on. Before I proceed, I would want to have a short poll. Okay, so we don't have a poll here, but at least you can use the chat window to let me know which year and what exam are you going to take. So if it is, let us say, for example, Nata, you are giving Nata, so Nata 2022, you can mention Nata 2022. Or if you are taking NID exams are over for 2022, so it is 2023. You can mention NID 2023, right? Or see, USEED, SEED, NID, UGPG exams are finished. The upcoming is the NIFT 2022. In fact, there is a live test going on for all the NIFT students. All right. Yeah. So there is a live test happening for the NIFT students. So let me know what category of students you are so that I can accordingly I can guide you. Okay, so some students are saying Nata 2022, JE 2022, 2023, and NID and UC 2023, Nata 2023, Nata 2022. All right, so we have some students for Nata 2022 and majority of the students for the 2023. That is good. All right. Okay, so I'm glad that you're able to attend this session today, because we are going to talk about very important stuff which is based on our experience of almost 15 years of guiding the students, and what we have seen, thousands of students and the parents, what they have done, how they have prepared, and what guidance we have given, how it has worked for them, and all of that. So Stephen is asking, sir, so this meeting is not for students who have already attended NID or UC 2022. So Stephen, if you have already done your test, the prelims test at least, okay, so you are pretty much done the first round, right? So we are looking at the first round of the test, right? So which is, in which case the NID and the UC SEED exams are already over. So we are looking at the future tests, right? So 2022 Nata or NIFT, or 2023 all entrance exams, Nata, NIFT, NID, UC, SEED, JE paper 2 and all of that. Stephen, I hope that answers your question. So he's saying, I thought this was for entrance exams as well as such as UID, SID and others. Of course, yeah, the guidance, the instructions are also applicable for the other private entrance exams as well. So if you want, you can stay back and listen to it. All right. Okay, so we have a good number of students here now. So let us move forward. So there are certain things you got to know to crack these entrance exams. These are not like the JEE paper 1 or NEET or those entrance exams where majority of them are all objective type questions. Okay, so there are certain challenges associated with cracking these creative entrance exams. So let us look into the challenges. Okay, so the first challenge is, even though the exam guys give you a set syllabus, okay, so they tell that this is all what is possible, okay, but the problem is they don't set the boundaries. Okay, they don't define how that question would come. Okay, for example, let's say general knowledge. Okay, so general knowledge is so vast, there is no specified boundary to that. Okay, similarly, they may say visual spatial ability. Again, there is no set boundary to that. So the first challenge is the syllabus itself is the first challenge. Okay. And the second challenge is it is a combination of objective and subjective questions. Okay, even the objective questions, there could be multiple answers for the question, right? So now, let us say if you take Nata, okay, or USEED, USEED has MSQs, multiple select questions, which means that for a particular question, there can be one or more correct answers. So how do you define those? What is correct, what is not correct? Okay, again, it depends on certain level of subjectivity of the student. Now, what do you mean by objective question is like there can be only one answer, right? So, for example, if you take MCQ, multiple choice question, right? So you have one question tag and 4 answer options. Only one of them can be correct, and it cannot be an answer choice beyond that, or it cannot be 2 or 3 correct answer choices in MCQs, right? So that is objective type of questions. Subjective type questions could be like MSQs or PTQs, or it could be drawing based questions as well. So in this case, what happens is every question that they pose is debatable. Okay, so there could be multiple answers for each of these questions. Okay, and how the examiner will interpret and how you would interpret those questions can be completely different. Okay, for example, let us take a drawing question. All right, so let us say you are supposed to design an icon or pictogram for a particular event, let us say. So they may set certain parameters, but that pictogram can be done in millions of ways. There is no one right way a student can do, right? So similarly, there is no one right way examiner can judge it in. So the same question, the same answer, if evaluated by, let us say 10 people, you get 10 different results. Okay, there could be minute differences in the results, right? So it is objective and subjective questions, so that makes it very complex. And third is not all past year papers are available for review. Now, if you take NEET, JEE, paper 1, all the past year question papers are available for you, right? You would know exactly what kind of questions that they're giving and etc. But certain exams here do not publish their papers. For example, Nata, they never publish a paper, right? Maybe once in a while they may publish a paper, but most of the times they will not publish a paper. NIFT, okay, they also do not publish the paper. NID, they used to publish, now they stopped publishing the paper, right? USEED and SEED are the only two exams where they are consistently publishing the papers, so that you know exactly what kind of questions they ask. Okay, that leads to the fourth challenge, which is like, okay, what to study and what not to study. So they have given the syllabus, but there are no boundaries. Okay, they can ask any question from any part of the sphere of the syllabus, right? And not all past year papers are available. So in which case, what to study and what not to study? Where do you draw the line? Saying that, okay, I have finished studying this and there is nothing more to study. Okay, how do you decide that? Okay, and on top of it, all of these entrance exams, like, okay, including NID, UC, the SEED, and Nata, they all come up with this nice caption saying that, okay, this is an aptitude test that assesses a candidate's innate ability through a variety of testing formats and cannot be taught, learned, or induced. Okay, so they are trying to say this statement boldly, saying that, okay, it cannot be taught, so there's no point in buying some study material or studying through or taking some help or joining a coaching center is of no use. Okay, and so this is the current situation. This is the strategy. All right. Now, what you have to understand is that, for example, I myself have taken these exams and have cracked them. Right, so I have taken these exams way long time back, of course, right? And in fact, my team of mentors and researchers, okay, they had also taken these exams and they have cracked them. Right? Of course, during my time when I was taking the test, there was no preparatory material, absolutely no preparatory material, right? So whether talking about the architecture entrance exam or the seed entrance exam, which I have cracked both, right? So there were no set materials per se. So in fact, there was no internet when we were doing those exams. So what material we had? Some kind of a notes written down by our super seniors and etc. So we used to go approach them and ask them. So they'll study whatever they have information that they've gathered, and then we used to add our own information to that and then pass it on to our juniors, right? So that is how we used to study. But now what is happening is the competition has increased a lot. Okay, so there are hardly, for example, in IIT Bombay, there are hardly 15 seats, and there are 10,000 students who are taking this exam. Okay, and it's not that there is a certain kind of an experience and expertise that is there, which can be harnessed and given to the students to help them prepare for these entrance exams, right? So in that context, we have also built a platform called as edge.dqlabs.in, right? So it was called as, before it was called as DQLabs Interactive. Once upon a time, it was called as DQLabs Metacog, right? But slowly the name has evolved, the platforms have evolved, the content has evolved, what we are giving, what we are offering to support the students has tremendously evolved, okay? With the new avatar of edge.dqlabs.in, we have successfully, in fact, mentored, and more than 5,000 plus students have successfully cleared these entrance exams through self-study and through taking the mock tests and all of that, right? And of course, we also have the online coaching and the offline coaching programs where, again, we take Edge as the main content, okay, and then we help students to learn. Okay. So now in this session, I'm going to help you understand how would you approach preparing for these entrance exams, okay? Even though there are these challenges, but there are also solutions in terms of how you can overcome these challenges in a smart way, and how to do really well using edge.dqlabs.in, right? So does that sound all right? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat window, please. And those who are attending online can also leave your questions in the live chat so that we can review them and we can help answer those questions. Meanwhile, is there anything else are you looking for beyond what I'm going to explain? So please feel free to use the chat window to write down your views if there is nothing next step. By the way, are you all able to see my screen completely, or any obstructions in terms of grayed out areas or anything like that happening? Let me know. If you're all able to see my screen clearly, absolutely fine. All right, no issues. All right, guys. So we'll go to the next step. Okay, so how to prepare and crack with all these kind of uncertainties, and let us see. So the first and foremost thing is that you got to understand the past year paper breakup. Now you have all these past year questions that are floating around and etc. So what we do is, when a test is when a test finishes, we kind of ask our students to help us understand what kind of questions they got. All right, and we, based on that, tentatively we create certain papers, past year papers, right? And then what we do is we also analyze these papers. And I have got a snapshot of syllabus heat map. Okay, this is for Nata, which is going to happen in the next 88 days left, right? So what happens is, let me do a small comparison in terms of what syllabus they give. Okay, for example, if you look into the syllabus of Nata, so this is on Nata website. Okay, it's Nata brochure. This is 2021-2022 brochure, right? Okay, so this is the syllabus that they give. All right, so they say that aptitude test of the candidate will be assessed using some or all of the following techniques. Okay, diagrammatic reasoning, numerical reasoning, verbal reasoning, inductive reasoning, situational judgment, logical reasoning, abstract reasoning. So basically everything about reasoning. All right, and then they have not, again, as I told you, they have not set the boundary. Okay, what they will not ask, they're not going to tell. right? So that's the thing. And then they also say questions could be asked in various topics that assesses candidates on basic concept of mathematics, physics and geometry, language, interpretation, elements and principles of design, aesthetic sensitivity, color theory. So they have given a big list of topics, right? Now, how we deconstruct this and give to our students is in this manner. All right. For example, I hope you all have access to edge.dklabs.in. If not, please create an account. Okay. In the Zoom meeting, anybody does not have access to edge.dklabs.in, I mean, you need to create an account. So account is free. Okay. So if you have not, then please log into edge.dklabs.in and create an account. So I'm going to show how you can access the syllabus maps. All right, so click on learn. So under the study, you have learn, tests and exercises and discuss, right? So I would want you to click on learn and you will see certain modules here. And I would want you to scroll down to further go to a place called as Syllabus Heat Map. All right. And this is how we kind of deconstruct the syllabus. Okay. So these are the subjects. Now, these are the past year question papers and the topics, the questions that the topics that have come up, right? So we have this information from 2017. Of course, before that, it was all, I mean, Nata exam was like a big, what do I call? I mean, you cannot predict what they were asking, and it was quite difficult to predict. Okay, and the question papers were not released and etc. But certain question papers are released now, and also we trying to collect that information from the students. So we are able to create these kind of a heat. So what happens is, you can see here mental ability, how the number of questions are changing. In 2021, the first exam, there were 23 mental ability questions. So suddenly there's a big shot up of this, right? And then if you look at the mathematics questions, it has been more or less been consistent. Okay, in 2021, last exam, there were 16 questions, right? And then if you further see English general knowledge, English, since 2017 to 2020, okay, they were absolutely nil questions. Okay, but in 2021, they have suddenly increased the number of questions in English. Similarly, they have given heavy importance to general knowledge, 43, 41 of general knowledge, right? And then physics and chemistry, they have introduced physics and chemistry in the year 2020. And as you can see that they have been continuing asking some physics questions, but chemistry questions, they completely stopped, right? So this is a way to understand what kind of topics that they're giving. This is number one. So this thing, you can also do it for Nata. So you can also check for JEE paper 2. Okay, in JEE paper 2 also, you can kind of predict what kind of a question they will be asked. All right, so all these, right, so that you can start preparing. That is number one. So similar kind of an analysis can also be brought in by going through other entrance exams. Like for example, if you see NID UCC, okay, again go to learn part, and then you scroll down, and here you can see BDS, the question format. All right. So if you see, that's completely dropped. I mean, it's like hardly 10 questions, right? So certain information can be understood like this. So let us say USEED. Okay, even in USEED, the general knowledge, the pattern. So they had 37 general knowledge questions in 2015, but then it has come down to 11 questions, right? So we'll also be uploading the 2022 paper because it is out now. And visual spatial ability has been very consistent, and also mental ability questions have been very consistent in terms of the number of questions that they're asking. Now, English questions, you see that they have completely dropped down to 0. Right? So you would get to know what kind of questions that have been asked using or analyzing these heat maps. So similarly, you can go to NIFT and scroll down and see what is the pattern and consistent in English, right? So this is the first way of understanding the syllabus. Now, the syllabus they give is very wide and very vague, but when you quantify it in this fashion, then you can understand. That is step one. The step two is there is a particular way of experiencing this test. Okay. Of course, if you go to UC the website, they will give you past year question papers, etc., but do not access them. Okay. Rather, the best way of accessing, I will tell you now. Okay, so this is the second step. Okay. You go to practice. All right. So here you can see that there are these past year papers. So go to the past year papers. Okay, if you scroll down, you can see, for example, UC 2021. I would want you to take these past year papers from Edge, not from directly to the PDF, and then you get an idea of the questions, and then you try to answer, and you will not time it, right? So you will not get an accurate information in terms of how much you know, how much you got, how many marks you got, what would be your ranking, what are your gaps, skill gaps, and etc. Now, the reason why I'm insisting that you do all your mocks, past year papers on Edge is, number one, it is free. We're not charging anything for that. Okay. Number two is a greater advantage is that you get fantastic analysis. You get a study plan. So it is not only experiencing the past year papers, but also to get a study plan so that you can pinpointedly address those weak areas and improve your score tremendously. All right. So I think there are a couple of questions. Let me look into that. So Shreya is saying, sir, your voice keeps breaking every now and then. Oh, Shreya, maybe it is because of my internet. Once in a while, it is showing me that my internet is not stable. Okay, but I believe it is nicely getting recorded in YouTube. All right. So you can have a look at it. And Shreya, create a portfolio. All right. So I would request Dion, if Dion is in this call, please share the portfolio link. Okay. Please also post it in YouTube so that students can access that information. All right. Or you can also go to YouTube and you can search for portfolio insights. Okay. Let me just do it right away, right? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so I don't have access to YouTube at this point. Okay. All right. All right. So Shreya is asking, sir, do BR aspirants require a portfolio? No. Shreya, you do not require a portfolio at all. You just have to crack either the GA Nata entrance exam. That is not required in office. Okay. Now, let me show you what do you mean by experiencing a test, a past year test. All right. For example, all right. So yeah. So in this test, you can see that there is aptitude section and also there is sketching section. Okay. And on Edge, the beauty is you can also answer the sketching question and you upload them. And once you upload, you get the option of self-rating your work against certain parameters. Once you set a rate yourself, then you will be able to see the works of all the past year students. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, yeah. So you can see the works of all the past year students. Like, for example, here Ishika has done this beautiful work, right? So, and another beauty is you can also rate the student works. And we highly encourage you all doing this, because there is so much of learning that happens when you self-rate and peer rate other student works. Okay, so that is regarding the sketching part. Now, let us go to the aptitude part. Now, in the aptitude part, okay, let me just say, continue last attempt. Okay, so please read through the instructions. These instructions are exactly as per the actual exam. So there will be negative marking. For example, you see it even in Nata, there was negative marking, NIFT, NID, etc. Also, every year they will define the negative markings. So please have a look at it and attempt accordingly. Okay, and then let us say when you answer a test. Okay, the page is loading. Okay, now the page has loaded. All right. So exactly as in the different exams. So for example, you see there are three sections. One is numerical answer type, and there is multiple select questions, and then there is multiple choice questions. So even here you have this segregation of the questions. Okay. Now let us say you have a question like this. Okay. So which of the options is our rotation of the given figure? So they have given a figure. So which of the options is a rotation of the given figure? Can you try answering this? Tell me if it is A, B, C, D in the answer options or in the chat window. Yes, Jaishnavi is asking, sir, what else can we do for UCIT after solving the past year papers and non-verbal reasoning? I will tell you, Jaishnavi. So that is part of the agenda of what I'm trying to teach you in terms of guide you. Okay. So Shreyas is saying D is the answer. So is A. All right. So any other options that you can think of? Can you let me know? Anybody else would like to answer? Go ahead. Try. Please answer in the chat window so that we can have a record of the. So Jaishnavi is saying ABC. Now these are multiple select questions, all right? So this is a question for multiple select questions. So which means that there could be more than one answer. So some of you are saying A, C, D, some of you are saying A and D, some of you are saying A, B, C, whatever is the answer. Now, there are only three ways you can come up with an answer right option. Okay. For example, this is a visual question. So you would try to decipher it using your knowledge. If it is an equation based question, you would use a formula and try to answer it. The second method is you can find, you can eliminate answer options. Okay, it's a process of elimination. You would say maybe not C, maybe not A, maybe B, maybe D. Okay, so that is by process of elimination. And the last method is you have no question. This is the first time you are seeing, you have never read of this question, you are not able to understand it, etc. But let us say there is no negative marking for this, you will go for random choice, isn't it? So you depend on J Mata Di, and then you answer, right? So what we do here in DQ Edge is very important, right? So you choose your answer options, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, A, B, C, B, C, D, C, whatever it is. Okay, but just observe what happens to the submit button. So let us say D, C, and B are the right answers. Okay. So once I click on these, you see these 3 options that are asking, that have been asked. It will say, how did you solve this question? Have you used your knowledge? Have you done it through elimination, or did you use random choice? In my case, I have used random choice. In your case, probably by elimination or probably by knowledge. So you choose the answer option, like how did you solve this question among these 3? And then the next question appears. So this is the reason why I'm asking you to attempt all the past year questions on DQH. What happens is we will give you a fantastic analysis of your strengths, weaknesses, your total score, the score, your true score, in the sense sometimes you may do some random choosing and then you get correct answers by fluke, right? If you remove that fluke answers, correct answers, then what will be your true score? And we will also tell you what is that first 1 or 2 topics that you need to study immediately so that you can stop losing score. That information nobody can tell. That information we give you. And we also give you a study plan. So that I'm going to show you now. Now you understood why I'm insisting that you take this test here. All right. All right. So let me enter one past year student, a past student information, and let us review their one of the tests to help you understand how the scoring happens and what information you can get. Okay, for example, let us say Veda. Veda Aravind. Okay, Pasha. Okay, I'm not able to find the right exact student. Pasha, all right. Let me check. All right, let me do another way of finding, okay, so that you can see the correct way. Okay, let me check. Let's see, you see test 1. Or I can also check Ananya Datta. All right, so why I'm taking Ananya Datta's, for example, case is because she has just written the test and she has been using DQH very, very perfectly. All right. Now, this is one of the USEED tests that she has given. All right. And she has gotten an AIR of 7. And let us review her score anatomy, how she has got her score. Now, she has answered 61 questions, okay, out of which she got 39 questions correct, okay, and 22 wrong. And she has applied knowledge or formula for 59 questions and got 38 questions wrong. Elimination, she has done 2 and 1 got correct and 1 got wrong. And she did not use random choosing at all because she's a very careful student, because there is negative marking. Okay, so she has been very careful. Now, what is more important here is she has answered 59 questions through knowledge and formula and she got 21 wrong. And which means that there is the negative marking, so she has lost so many marks. Okay, so her true score is 131, but she lost 7.97 marks because of the negative marking. right? And now this is the study plan for her. Once she takes a test, this is the study plan. Now, these are all the danger topics. For example, theory, color theory. She is pretty weak in color theory, or basically she thinks that she is strong in color theory. She has answered this color theory question through knowledge, but then she got both the questions wrong, which means that tomorrow in the exam, if she gets a color theory question, she has to be very, very careful, number one. Number two, she has to really understand the color theory topic very thoroughly, because she thinks she knows very well, but then she is making terrible mistakes. Did you understand what these danger topics means? Can I get a heads up? Yes, no? Did you guys understand the importance of taking this test on DQH? All right. Okay. So this is the first priority one. So after she understands this color theory topic, the next topic is geometric shapes. Even here she applied through knowledge, but she got wrong. So she is fundamentally making some mistakes in geometric shapes. So she has to focus on that. And the next topic is counting shapes or patterns. And the next topic is permutation and combinations. These are all why? Because she has applied through knowledge and got it wrong. See, if she has applied through random choice and got it wrong, it's okay, fine. It doesn't matter. But she thought she knows the answer very well and she got it wrong. So this is the danger topics. This is the first priority. The second priority is the scoring topics. So most of the time students ask, sir, I have studied all the topics. All right. So what is the next thing I have to do? What is the next topic I have to study? Right. So these scoring topics. And the master topics, whether they can study or not, it's up to them. They are already doing very well. Danger topics are absolutely important. And then you also have this little graph which kind of shows you how well you are doing in these various subjects. Okay. And then we have this attempt strategy insights. Let us say tomorrow you have to give the exam. Okay. Now I always take the analogy of giving the exam as playing a ball of cricket. All right. So every time there is a question shown to you is equivalent to every time a ball is thrown at you, right? Whether to play that ball or not is in your hands. Now you have to make a decision. Okay. Why you have to make a decision? Because there could be some googlies that are thrown at you. They may seem as very simple, straightforward question, but it could be a googly. So what happens is the moment you answer that without good thought, you may make a mistake. So first of all, every question that is posed at you, you have to ensure that you can answer it or skip it. Okay. So once you take a test on DQH, you also get this set 3 insights, which basically tells which are the topics you can go ahead and answer, which are the topics you have to be extremely careful, because you are highly bound to make a mistake, because the pattern of your answering the questions shows that there's a high probability of you making a mistake. So you have got to be very careful. So generally what you do, you leave these questions to the end of the exam. If you get these questions, you answer immediately, confidently, right? So of course, this is completely based on individual student. Okay, so this pattern changes for each of the student. They're based on their weaknesses and strengths. Okay. Now she got AIR 7, and if you look into her work for the sketching, this was her sketching question. We have also evaluated her. Students have also self-evaluated her, and people left the comments. So this is the practice that we do on DQH. You also get that information. So now why I have taken Ananya Datta's case specifically is because in the test in DQ labs, she was scoring about 123, 124, or etc. on about around 240. This is for the theory part. And she has given the exam now, and she has scored a similar amount of marks in her theory. So what I'm trying to say is, we have these all India monthly mock tests that we create for free for all the students, right? So in most of the student cases, what we are seeing is whatever scores that they are scoring here on this all India monthly mock test, with a range of plus or minus 20, they are getting a similar scores to the actual exam. So these are very accurate. If you're doing accurate very well in these exams here, there is a high probability that you will also do very well in the final exam. Now, going back to the test, so somebody have asked, okay, sir, I have done all these mock tests and etc. What is the next thing I have to do, right? So this is where the dashboard comes in play. So see, I have just switched on this dashboard because I'm a faculty showing faculty insights, but I have switched on the student view. You can see these my actions. Now, this is what you should be doing next. Or the my actions will be populated as per the student. So for me, the my actions are this. If I have time, if I have to study something, this is the one thing that I should be studying. Find the shapes with rotated views. All right. And once I finish that, I can click as mark as studied and go to the next topic, 3D composition elements. Okay. Now, where do you get this study material? You get all this study material in the learn section of DQH. All right. So once you have studied this, you can click and mark as read. And your objective has to be ensuring that the my actions are completely empty. So before you take a next mock test, please ensure that you have studied through all these topics and everything is empty. Then you go for the next mock test. All right. So coming back to this particular slide. So when I'm talking about the study plan, in terms of your, so whatever suggestions are being given for you, that will be your study plan. All right. So once the study plan is empty, you take the next mock test. You take a next mock test, you take practice sets. We have predicted questions, we have 501 predicted questions, which are not been asked yet in the exams, and there's a high possibility of them asking the exams. We have all India Nata mock test. Of course, this is for Nata. Similarly, we have for NID, NIFT, UC, etc. as well. Right, and then we have practice sets. Okay, we have actual past year papers, and we also have past year papers segregated. Now, past year actually is where you get all the segregated questions, like all the orthographic questions asked in all the past year papers are segregated in one place, so that when you go here, you can find all those questions in one go. Right. So similarly, visual spatial ability and etc. Right. So this is the plan of action for you guys. Okay, so what is a plan of action? So take a mock test, get a study plan. Okay, once you get the study plan, ensure that all the actionable topics are studied. So you tick mark them. Okay, and then what you do, you take the next mock test. So when you take the next mock test, you get again the study plan, and then the actionable insights. So this is a cycle that you do again and again and again. Okay, so just to give you an understanding of the learn part also, because I have shown you the take test where all this information is there, and also in the learn part, I would want you to create a free account if you do not have, and just go through and experience what all is there. There are certain free topics as well. You can experience them. So you should be studying through all these topics on DQH. You can do self-study, or if you join DQ Labs, we also have a plan of action, a yearly plan or a 3-month plan, etc. And you will be following that based with the help of the in-class teaching. All right. So I would want you to explore all these study material that is available, already available. Apart from that, we have introduced something very new since December. It is called as All India Monthly Mock Test. So every month we will be releasing one mock test related to a particular exam. Okay, so I will share the schedule with you as well. So the schedule is something like this. Right. For example, every Sunday, 4 p.m. to 7 or 9 p.m., depending on the length of the test, we will be releasing the All India Monthly Mock Test. So what is the advantage of this? You would get an All India ranking, you will get the study plan, and you will be getting the insights. All right, actionable insights. So these are the dates. For example, the first Sunday of February, which is 6th, you will be having NID UG and NID PG All India mock test. Okay. And if you're looking for Nata test, it will be on the 4th Sunday, that is 27th of Feb. And then what happens is these days are fixed. So every 4th Sunday, each 4th Sunday of every month, you can actually find a Nata test happening between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Right? Every 3rd Sunday between again 4 to 7 p.m. you will be having UC and SEED entrance exam, All India mock test. Similarly for 2nd Sunday and similarly for 1st Sunday. Now, where do you get these All India mock tests? I will help you understand. So if you go to my courses, all right. So there is an option of competitive exams, All India monthly mock tests. So please click on this option. Okay, and then click on visit course. It will directly take you to that All India monthly mocks. All right. All right, why it's not ordered? Hold on. All right, so it is loaded, right? So you can see here that there is currently a NIFT AIM test 1 happening as we are speaking. If you want, after this webinar, you can go here and take this test. Now you got to understand few things in mind. Okay, so this test is free during the specific time that we have mentioned. For example, the next NIFT AIM test is activated on Feb 3rd, 4 p.m. So from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. it is free. If you want to access it beyond that time, it will be paid. Right? So please ensure that you note down the timings and you attend the test during that particular time. Now, why we are doing is we are bringing in a discipline, and also we are having all the students attending at the same time so that they get the AIR immediately. All right, for that reason. So you can see that the next JE paper 2 dates and times and etc. Okay. And for example, UC AIM test 1, which has happened on 9th Jan 2022, there were 144 test takers. And the highest scorers was Veda Arvind, 177.54 out of 300. And the third is Akanksha Singh, 170.32 out of 300. So if you had taken the test during that time, it would have been free. But now if you want to take it, of course, it has to be paid. But we'll be having future tests as per the schedule. So please ensure that you follow the schedule and you will be able to take all these tests absolutely for free during those times. And what do you do after taking the test? You get an All India ranking, you get a study plan, and you get your actionable insights, which will guide you in terms of your preparation. All right. So any questions so far? So Vijeta is asking, so which test should we start off with? All right. So keep in mind the All India monthly mock test. Please do. It's only once a month. So if you're taking, Vijeta, which test are you taking? You're preparing for? Nata, sir. All right. So please keep. Okay. So what you can do is, because the Nata All India mock test is on February 27th. So what you can do is, okay. So what I suggest is, once you go to the Nata JE paper, start off with the past year papers. Go through all the past year papers. Okay, so some papers are free, some papers have to be paid, but whatever is free, you can go, or if not, please upgrade. It is worth upgrading, buying the course. Okay, so, and start off with past year papers. Then I would want you to do 501 predicted questions, right? And then you do the All India Nata mock test. And whenever there is wherever there is this All India monthly mock test, please attempt that also. So basically, the All India monthly mock test is a separate course by itself. All right. So somebody were asking, is it by default? No, it is not by default. Okay. So all right. So there was a question. If we take access to DQH, will I get the access to monthly mock test for UC? So there are different courses, Jaishnavi. So if you want access to All India monthly mock test, as I told you, during that specific time, it is free. But if you want to access the previous All India monthly mock test, then you have to pay. I think currently the offer price is about 2,000 rupees for the entire year. You can access all the tests, all the All India monthly mocks. Okay. And please, if you have any queries and etc., we would want you to connect with our counselors on 959-100-1000. Please call them up and please ask your queries. They will help you to sort them out. Okay. Okay, so Vijayta is saying, sir, practice sets is what I thought I should be doing first. No. First, go through the past year question papers. That is very much important. Past year papers on DQH, because we have a particular method of answering the past year papers, which will be very useful for you. So go through the past year papers. Okay. Then you do the practice sets. Then you do the 501 predicted questions. Then you do the Nata full length Nata mock test. Does that answer your question, Vijayta? So Lahari is asking, sir, will physics and chemistry be included in Nata and JE 2023? In JE 2023, there is no physics and no chemistry. It's only mathematics for JEE. For Nata, it is mathematics and physics, no chemistry. Okay. Is the Nata 2022 brochure released? It is not yet released. All right. Okay. So all those who want to have access to these this DQH, please send a message or contact 959-100-1000, and they will help you to help you out in terms of how to access them and etc.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go on.
So when do we have the Nata exam?
So the dates are not announced yet, but most probably
No,
it will be in
after a
or
board exam, do we have some time for preparing?
Yeah, generally it will happen after the board exams. Okay, right. So Likshita is saying,
Umesh, just on that question, I'd just like to add.
Yeah,
so generally, after the board exam, there's generally about 3 weeks to a month before the first Nata is, and then there are maybe another 2 months before the second Nata. All right. As far as the first Nata goes, your best chance to get into a top school of your choice would be to do well in that first Nata. Now, if you wait for your boards and then say, let me finish my boards first and then prepare for Nata, you're going to have very little time for that preparation. So the ideal thing is to, let your preparation go on parallelly. Don't stop your preparation. maximize what you can do now and maximize your efforts for the first attempt. Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Okay, cool. So somebody in the YouTube is asking, sir, why you're not talking about architecture? I think we are talking about architecture. This seminar is for both architecture, fashion, and design. So we are touching upon all these. If you have missed, probably, so you can watch the live video one more time. All right. So Spurti is saying, sir, our board exams end on May 6th. So the Nata organizers will definitely consider a suitable time and they will organize that particular date. So not to worry. All right. Okay. So any other questions? We are left with 2 minutes to finish the webinar. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. Is drawing expected in 2022, Nata? At DQ Labs, we help students prepare for drawing as well, not only in the perspective for the Nata exam, but in the perspective of architecture career. So whatever drawing that you are learning will help you in the long run, especially the sketching part. So please do not prepare for sketching. It's not just for the exam point of view, but your future point of view also, the sketching is very important. So whether they ask drawing or not, please go ahead and prepare for the drawing part. Okay. So Gayatri is asking, sir, does DQ Labs conduct any live classes also? Absolutely, we have live classes. So Gayatri, please get in touch with 959-100-100. Dion, if you're on the call, could you please also share the portfolio preparation webinar information?
All right.
All right. And also share the contact number. Or if you have a form, you can float a form. Those who are interested can probably get in touch with us. Lahari is saying, sir, does the syllabus keep changing for Nata and JE2 every year? So the JE paper 2 is the most predictable and they don't change the syllabus. JE paper 2 is very fixed syllabus. Nata is completely changeable. All right. So they may follow or not follow at all, whatever they are saying. It's not very, unfortunately, not very professionally organized thing, what we have been seeing over the years. No, so there's no consistency in what they are doing. They do whatever they just want to do. Right. So that's the unfortunate situation. But JE paper 2 is very predictable, it's very professional. They follow the syllabus properly. Okay. Oh, Shreya is asking, sir, what level is PCM in Nata? Cbsc or JE level? So, Shreya, what we have been seeing in the last 3-4 Nata exams is that the PCM level in Nata has dropped down to the 10th level. Once upon a time, it was very high to the JE level, but in the last 3 past exams, what we noticed is that the level is very, very basic, okay, to the level of 11th or 10th, not beyond that. Okay. So Vijayda is saying, with Nata changing its syllabus, can we expect JE paper 2 syllabus to also change? No. We have been observing the JE paper 2 since at least 25 years now. It is very much constant. The syllabus is absolutely constant. They are not changing it. So don't worry, the JE paper 2 syllabus will not change. I can tell that with confidence, but Nata syllabus, they can do whatever they want. And Dion has shared an inquiry form in the chat. Whoever wants further information about the courses at DQ Labs or DQ Edge or the All India mock test, please do fill up so that our counselors will get in touch with you. Sir, which topics are important for UCIT for GK? So all the important topics we have covered on DQH. Now there's a huge list. I don't have a, it's not a small list. It's a exhaustive list, and we have covered as much as possible. So if you are able to see my screen, you see this is, I am under NID UC Seed course. So you see this general knowledge. These are the various topics an aspirant should fundamentally know. If you are knowing beyond this information, absolutely fine. But at least this basic information you should be knowing. Okay, for example, if you just click on performance arts. So famous filmmakers, Indian dance forms, musical instruments, and a spotlight on such as Satyajit Ray. Let us say if you just go for Indian dance forms, then you can see all these Indian dance forms are neatly documented for students learning, because we understand that you will not have time to go through massive information on Google. So we have collated all the information that is important for a student to understand. So what happens is, in the actual exam, we are not guaranteeing that you would exactly find a question that we have discussed before. No, what we are telling is based on the experience and learning experience of using DQH, you will be in a better position to eliminate your answer options, right? Because just trying to guess what it will come in the exam is not possible by anybody. But because we are exposing to various important information, all right, there would be a possibility that certain amount of information that you're seeing in the actual UC, you already know because of the amount of study you have done on DQH. So it becomes easier for elimination. You understand the approach that we are trying to make up? Okay, because if anybody is saying that they can perfectly guess what happens and will give that information to the students, they're just faking you. That's not just possible. Okay. Okay, so Shreya is asking, since we have more GK questions, how can we prepare for GK better? Now, there should be a balance of everything. So how do you balance? Now, for the balance, you need to understand the heat maps. Now, look at the heat maps. Okay, so go to NID UC and look at the heat map and see the importance of GK. The importance of GK for, especially for, let us say, UC. Importance of GK for UCD is every year it is falling down. Now the number of questions are 11. Okay, in the 2022 also we will see how many questions have come. We'll update it soon. All right. So, and if you see the mental ability, it is very high. Visual spatial ability, it is high. Mathematics and general knowledge is almost equally important. Analytical reasoning is not that much important. English is 0, right? So you kind of understand, let us say you take it for the last 3 years, the pattern, how it is changing. And accordingly, you give your emphasis to that particular subject matter. It's not that right from now till your exam in 2023, you will be giving 80% of time and importance to GK. Not required. You have to carefully balance it. Okay. So what I suggest to all my students is your first priority is to be thorough on the information that is given on DQH, general knowledge. This is the fundamental thing. All my students will be very, very well aware of the information that is given here. And beyond that, you are trying to accumulate some more information, you do that. No problem. But this is the fundamental basic information you should be learning. Okay. So the same question applies for JEE and Nata as well. So please go through the heat maps, and similar kind of information we have put up for architecture also. So if you go for architecture under Nata JEE, and we have the general knowledge of architectural awareness, we have specific space called as architectural awareness. And in this, you will see all the stuff that you should be knowing. And you should be thorough in this. For example, famous buildings, let's say. Famous buildings, let us say famous buildings 1. All right. So again, we have collated all this information and given to you with pictures and important information that you can just glance through this and become familiar. Okay, so tomorrow they may ask a question like this, a picture or like this, and they say, okay, what is the building? Where is it? Who designed it? What is the material used? right? So these are the few things that you should be aware of, and that we have collated and given all this information in a easily comprehensible manner, right? Okay. So how many marks is the Nata exam in total? 200 marks. Harsha, it is 200 marks. Rupashri, are we going to have mock tests for JE paper 2 or Nata for 2022 students besides the ones that are already there on Edge? Yes, Rupashri, these tests will be through in the form of All India mock tests. Again, where do you access the All India mock test? You go to My Courses. You choose this competitive exams and All India mock tests, and then you say take a test, and then you go to All India mock test here. So I don't know why it is not loading. Just reload it. There must be some bug. Please reload it. Then you will see all these tests, and you will find the JE paper 2 or Nata paper 2. Apart from these, we will also be having added papers based on the requests that we are getting. So the schedule for this is the schedule. Please take a screenshot. This is the screenshot for the All India mock test for the entire year till January 2023. And please make a note of it. Soon on the page, we'll be having an option of enrolling individually. So like basically you'll get a notification so that to all the tests that you enroll. Okay, so that will be done in a week's time. Then we'll announce that aspect as well. Okay, right. So let us see a few more questions. Shreya is saying, sir, important topics to focus on in terms of sketching part for Nata and JE. Yes, that is also available here. So what you do is just go to the learn part of Nata. Okay, and then go to the design sketching. These are the parts that you should be knowing: perspective, 2D graphic, shade texture rendering, human animal figure drawing, theme sketch, design basics, 2D composition, objects in perspective, interiors, exteriors, 3D composition, and product design sketching. So these are all the topics that you should be familiar with, not only for Nata, JE, but also for your future. Shreya is saying, anything in specific among these or equal for all? Okay, so very specific, I would suggest be very thorough with perspective. Okay, because they may actually give some images and say what is wrong with this, find out the mistakes in this. So perspectives, 2D composition, okay, 2D composition, design basics, okay, those are the fundamentals, and the other topics you should be knowing anyway. It's important and it's fun to learn all of that. All right. Okay, so let me just check on YouTube if there are any questions. If not, then we can close. I think yes, so that is it. So thank you all so much, guys, for attending, taking time and attending today's session. And please do, if you have not created an account on DQH, please create an account and please go to All India Monthly Mock Test. It's very important. And whichever exam you are giving, go to that particular exam and subscribe to those materials so that you get full benefit of DQH. And as I have told before, more than 5,000 students have made use of this DQH and got their very good ranks in the respective exams. All right. Okay. Shreyas is asking, sir, while going through the concepts which I have bought, I had some doubts. I don't have access to the live sessions. How can I ask my doubts? So the DQ Edge material is all for self-study material. All right. If you have any doubts, you have to join for the online classes. All right. Because those specific doubts can be addressed in the online classes at this point of time. All right, Shreyas. So that is the point. Or what you can also do is there are certain reviews of previous year's questions and etc. that are available on YouTube by DQ Lab. So you can go through those reviews and etc. so that you can also understand how you can probably do it. But if you're looking at live one-to-one interactions, at this point of time, it is the complete course that you should be enrolling for to get that benefit. All right. Okay. Good score for Nata. We have seen students scoring about 181. Okay, so one of the students last year from DQ Labs has scored 181 out of 200. That's a fantastic score. All right, so generally students would score about 100. All right, but grade scores are above 150. Okay, and it is easily possible if you do every exercise that is listed on DQH. Okay, in the learn part, take so test and exercises, and also doing the All India mock test. That itself is great practice for you. Do it at least twice or thrice, then you will be in a great position and you will get very good score. Okay. All right. So I think that is the last doubt from Shreya. All right. So Dion, would you like to conclude?
Well, so thank you to everyone for participating in this, and wish you all the best. Please be as active as possible, be as interactive as possible on